This field experience video provides an outlook into the decision-making of the master schedule. While conversing with Mrs. McNeely, I learned that there's quite a substantial amount of puzzle pieces to fit together to ultimately support all students, staff, and extracurricular activities. With the pandemic as her main focus at present, the health of students and staff trumps all other norms in regards to the ideals of the master schedule, this being class size for social distancing purposes. Normally, it would be giving the teachers enough ample time for students to effectively learn. If the time allowed for teachers to do their job doesn't happen, effectiveness of instruction falls by the wayside. Because of the class sizes having limitations, Mrs. McNeely expressed if there was a possibility to hire, she would hire more teachers that could teach half a day of science and half a day of social studies for 6th grade. Community schools became a shift in the district a couple of years ago. Therefore, science and social studies class sizes were packed. And in order to fulfill the requirements of the CDC, this would be something that Ms. McNeely needs in order to fulfill the CDC requirements. What determines class sizes is all in factoring how many kids are in the building, how many teachers per subject, and does this leave room for all the electives that are provided. Now, she walked me through a step-by-step process. She first said, think about a typical kid. Then every possibility or way their day could look like. Then time plays a part in deciding where each student should go. So here we have the kid, then we have the time. Being that we have 2 hours for math and 2 hours for English, this makes it a little easier to maneuver the pieces into the schedule alongside those electives that play a part. Then you need to think about those electives. Since we share teachers from the high school, there are limitations of where these electives and their students will be placed. So we share teachers, we also share facilities. So we have to take what is provided to us from the high school and make the schedule from there. After you've played with all those little pieces, start plugging in the teachers that you have per subject. Then dabble with some more until you get it right. Kind of sounds like my grandmother's recipe. What I found interesting was the indication of when you know it's right. The main priority is making sure that all students get what they need. The master schedule should never be a hindrance to that cause, which warmed my heart, knowing that students and their needs are always at the forefront of our mind. We do share teachers and faculties, like I said before, with the high school, so we have to take those options that are given to us. She did stress that the electives are the hardest part to map out, that there are stipulations and teacher-faculty tie-ups in the mix. In order for maximizing learning to happen with the master schedule, she suggests to keep in mind when making the master schedule, one wrong decision could cripple the student's ability to master a certain skill before they need to move on. In order to maximize learning, class sizes need to be at a reasonable amount for teachers to be successful. She also pointed out that it is very important to give teachers a schedule for the day. This will help with the effectiveness in the classroom. We also discussed discipline and its pitfalls into maximizing learning. When a student is misbehaving, valuable learning is being taken from each student in the room. It is very important that procedures are in place. Support from the office is available to redirect these behaviors. Student engagement is also a key component in measuring the learning process in the building. In regards to changing a schedule for a student that is misbehaving, this could be an alternative in considering learning effectiveness. She mentioned that you have to weigh your options, putting the overall student need above one student. Once again, putting these students' needs above everything else. When issues arise in teacher collaboration, she suggests going to department heads. Getting their ideas for solutions is the best place to start. She did say that limit that because you want to make sure that there's trust in her being the one to take care of the issue. But as a whole, she does a survey at the end of the year to measure climate and culture and suggestions from her teachers on what went right and what went wrong, and some things that they felt during the school year, so that she could reflect over the summer and prepare a game plan for the next year. I find that having that ability to speak about those issues at the end of the year, and she takes those things into consideration as she makes a plan for the next year, I think that one will keep her teachers happy, and those are the things that they need along with the student needs. Now, when it comes to the schedule, marking that into the master schedule, disappointingly, is not an option, especially at a per subject school like the junior high and the high school. Now, elementary, you could probably get away with mapping out a time where all the English teachers and all the math teachers are together, and for collaboration purposes. We do meet weekly with our department head to discuss issues and game plans and what to do for the next week. Now, Mrs. McNeely has made it a point to respect instructional time. So that means that she doesn't pull students out during the day. She keeps it to a minimum. If something needs to happen, she does it, but she wants to respect that time. And kids are not pulled out of classes in order to maximize the learning. In planning, our district has mapped out a planning day each quarter to help alleviate that issue of not being able to map it out in the master schedule. These planning days are respected. She encourages teachers not to take off on those days and utilizes the time given to provide alignment. We also have a curriculum specialist in the district that helps alignment across the district. In-service also is provided, and she feels that that is ample enough time to prepare, plan, and collaborate with teachers at the beginning of the year. And of course, we always make it a point weekly to get together after school and plan. Now, so here I have this schedule. So after all that we've talked about, here I have this master schedule with all the many pieces scattered about, just ready to make an impact on a student's learning. As an administrator, my job is to keep students' needs at the forefront of my mind. I've got a count of students and what they need, class sizes, teachers and their subjects, and the electives and the facilities that are being used. The number one question I ask myself: how do you keep everyone happy? You have to take into consideration the climate and the culture that you're dealing with and make it the best possible experience for a learner. This has definitely changed my perspective of how devoted a principal needs to be to ensure every child has been supported, and how important all these little pieces of the master schedule will affect every student and even the teacher. Now, what can I take from this? I would use the word awareness. I need to be aware of what each child needs and wants. I need to be aware of how my teachers play a part in their needs, and be aware of how they all fit together to grow and achieve our goals as an educator. That's what we're all here for. But as a leader, I am the puppeteer for everyone involved.